Hey guys, what's up? My name is ProfessorSnipe, and today you're watching the most basic but useful Battlefield Play4free tutorial. This will be about all the controls in game and small things you can do. If you want to take a look at some full controls and modifications, you can go in your settings and tweak everything the way you want. You can even bind practically all the keys you want to your own preference. In this video, you will learn all the basics, but you might also learn a few things that you might have missed out on. To start, we have brief movement. Forward with W, backwards with S, strafing left with A, and strafing right with D. This is the traditional WASD movement setup. To look up, down, and to your sides, you use the mouse. To jump, you can press the spacebar. If you're ever falling off a building or ejecting from a vehicle seat such as a helicopter, you can press spacebar when indicated to pull out your parachute and land safely without taking any damage. In order to sprint and run, you have to hold the shift key. Combining the shift key and W will enable you to move forward in a sprinting motion. If you ever find yourself in a gunfight and need to get to cover and reduce body area, you can press and hold the control button. This will enable you to crouch. To fire your weapon, you have to left click. This is the main button for practically all weapons. In order to have maximum accuracy, you want to aim down sight or zoom in. This is done by the right click. When you're done with your gunfight, you can press R to reload your weapon. If your gun runs out of ammo by itself, it will automatically reload it. However, there is an ability to toggle that off, but this doesn't particularly give you any advantage. If you're ever using a scope such as the Desert Ballistic or the Ballistic Ranges, you can zoom in and out by scrolling up and down on your mouse wheel. Some old mice don't have those mouse wheels, so you can bind those keys to your preference. I personally use Z and V. The numbers 1 to 10 are for your equipment. If your sidearm is on the second spot, press 2 to take it out. This works on all your equipment. The scroll wheel also comes in handy there if you can't use your numbers. Your scroll wheel will highlight the equipment and all you gotta do is click and it will bring it out. However, pressing on buttons is much more faster and way more effective. To enter a vehicle or a tow or an AA, you have to press the E button when beside it. This will be highlighted. Once put in a vehicle, depending how many seats it has available, you will be put in a seat. You can change your seats from pilot to gunner, or from driver to gunner or passenger by pressing on the F1 to F8 keys. There are a maximum of 8 seats available for the helicopter, so you can switch with this. There are certain vehicles and equipment like the fighter jets and the stationary vehicles that only have 1 seat. You will always have a first-person view in a vehicle when you enter it. You can change that by pressing C. It will take you out and show you a third-person view instead. The only problem is that you don't have any reticle and you have no clue where you're aiming at. Sometimes, if you're lucky, you can actually move your mouse when on the third view and it will move all around. Sometimes moving your mouse won't work and it will just fix the camera straight. If you want to zoom in your map, press N. There are different levels of zoom, if you want to see the entire map or just a medium section or be extremely close. If you press M, you will actually take out your whole map. Then from there you can press N and see different levels of change. If you want to check out the scoreboard to see how well you're doing, press and hold Tab. When on the scoreboard, pressing G will bookmark the server, which will save it in the bookmark section. To chat, you can press enter and type. Then press enter again to send a message. To delete the message, just press escape. You can quickly set the talking option to your team only by pressing Y, and if you want to talk to everyone, you can just press T. By holding Q, the emote section will pop up. There you can call for a medic, ammo, repairs, or a ride. You can even affirm your character and spot. This will highlight you on the map for medic or all other classes depending on what you ask for, and it will show them that you need their help. Instead of holding Q to spot someone, you can actually just press Q while aiming at an enemy to spot them so that they appear on the minimap for your teammates and yourself. If you hold F, the face camera will appear. This shows everything behind you. Even in vehicles or climbing ladders, the F key has its utility. If you want to use that ability to its maximum potential, you can hide behind a wall and use F to see the people behind the wall. Use that tactic effectively for more kills and more XP. When you're in a land vehicle, such as the Humvee or the Gauze or a tank, you can use W to move forward and S to slow down and reverse. A and D are to steer left and right. For several vehicles like the tanks and the LAVs, pressing X will deploy smoke. You can also fire by clicking left on your mouse and fire secondary with a right click off your mouse. In a Humvee or a transport land vehicle, as a driver, clicking will result in honking. If you're in the gunner seat of a tank or a Gauze or a Humvee, you can actually duck for cover by holding control. This is extremely effective, especially on tanks, because practically nothing can shoot you out. The controls are essentially the same thing for boats, except there are no countermeasures and no guns unless you're the gunner. When piloting a plane, you can use W to accelerate, S to slow down, A to yaw left, and D to yaw right. It is moving your mouse up and down that will result in pitching the plane, and moving your mouse right and left that will make it roll. You can combine several of these movements to navigate professionally around the map. You deploy your countermeasures with X. To fire your missiles, you simply left click. To fire your guns, you right click. If you want to activate your bombs, press B. You will notice the change in the HUD. When in the cockpit view, or sometimes in the third person view, by pressing C, you can actually hold control and move your mouse. This will result in looking at the sides of the seat. The helicopters have the exact same controls. W to accelerate or thrust your heli up, S to slow down and bring it down, A to steer left, D to steer right, and the mouse to pitch and roll. Of course, to fly a heli, you want to combine pitching the vehicle and accelerating. You can use the same tactic by holding control and moving your mouse to experience looking around you. The weapons for the attack helicopters can be accessed by clicking left and right. For many vehicles in the settings, you will notice a repair button, default V. I want to let you know that that button doesn't do anything. It's there for no reason. It has no utility. So you can substitute that V for something else. For all you guys that stuck through with this video, I have a small little tip for you guys. Whenever you're on the ladders and you need to escape, just hold shift and press S. You will just slide down the entire ladder. You don't need to jump or anything because then you won't be able to pull out your parachute and you'll just crash and die. So if you're ever in a sticky situation on a ladder and you need to escape that ladder, just hold shift, press S. Well guys, that's it for today. I hope you learned something new. Many of these controls were really basic, but there are certain things you might have not known. This is a very basic tutorial made for all newcomers that want to learn the controls and see them in action. That's it for me today. My name is ProfessorSnipe. Like the video if you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.